Hello, and I hope this finds you well. I don't know why I've stopped. My name is Kat, if you are new here. If you've been here for a while, it's lovely to see you again. I've got myself a cup of tea this morning. Wow, that sounded very Watford. It's a breakfast tea. It is a little bit past early morning, so I'm having a second infusion of this. And yeah, today I wanted to talk about some things that I've made my D&D group. My group has been going for over a year now. I think all in we're up to about 40 sessions, and it's been so much fun so far, and I have made a few little bits in the past for them, but I wanted to finish off one of the sets, and I have sent them things in the past. This is more exciting to me in campaign. In the campaign setting we are playing in, which is Wildmount, which is from the book Explorer's Guide to Wildmount, which is by predominantly written by Matthew Mercer of Critical Role. It is a wonderful setting, and in that is Winter's Crest, and I designed a pair of socks inspired by that last Christmas, if you will. And I just thought it would be fun to send everyone a kind of Winter's Crest care package, if you will. Hopefully by now everyone's received them, so this is not giving any spoilers to my lovely group. But yeah, it's just really fun, and I thought I'd go through them and just show what I did, because it's fun, and maybe you might want to do something similar yourself, whether it's for a D&D campaign or a knitting group or a making group. It's fun to share these ideas. I will start off with what I'm wearing. Today I am wearing my Gondor vest by Fibre knitwear. I really love this top. It is a sweater vest, or a vest top depending on who you are, how you say it. And I knitted it using Evergreen by Hobby, which is an organic 100% wool, and a drops mohair in black, both in black because all black everything. I have got some socks on that are actually my D&D socks. They're my Hey Audrey, in-house familiar has come to say hello. Speaking of Joy, here she is. She probably won't join us. But I am wearing my Choose Your Own Adventurer socks by Harper, who is disyarning. They are excellent. I've gone on about them quite a bit recently, so I won't, but they're a toe-up sock pattern. Toe-up is my method of choice these days, with an incredible array of charts and sizes, including a gusset, if you want to, which means that it adds width at the calf. So if you have wider calves than you do ankles, you can make these socks fit even better than most hand knit socks would. Yes. I think that's everything. They are knitted using my hand dyed yarn, so it's not available, so there's no point really talking about it. And yeah, we're good. So I'll share. So first of all, I wanted for one of our players' weddings to make us all matching jackets. I did run out of time because if you've been here, summer was chaos. And yeah, so I didn't end up getting to do everyone. And also I was a bit concerned on sizes, getting things right. So in the end, I decided to make patches for a couple of the players that are a lot further away, and I wouldn't have had methods of getting a jacket shipped and then sending it back. It would have just been a waste of energy. So I've made patches using fabric that I already had in my fabric stash, fabric pantry. It's in fact just a suitcase that lives under my bed. So I did a mixture of fabrics. I learnt very quickly that a flat fabric is easier for painting acrylic on. Here's mine. Mine is really run down now. I've worn it loads. But we are called Fantasy Trash, and this is the back of my jacket. Honestly, I couldn't have been more happy. I wear this thing so much. It's what I was wearing before I sat down to record. And all I did was, well, hopefully you'll see, I'll put in some footage. I decided what I wanted it to look like. I chose some fonts. Dafont.com is quite useful for that. It's something that I used to use at uni all the time, and I still use it every now and then now. I wanted mine to be quite gothic, and I tried to style everyone's a little bit to their personalities, their characters' personalities, and what overall made sense. I felt like the gothic-y fantasy typefaces go together. It's sort of reminiscent of fantasy novels and that kind of thing, so it made sense. And then because we don't have a printer and I don't have tracing paper, I've got a wad of greaseproofy type paper that I've had for years, since I was a baker, and I used that to trace from my computer screen and then pressed through using biro or pencil, depending on what fabric, to get an outline to paint over. One of them I did freehand, which I'll show you, but I wanted them to look neat, but not, well, my dream was to embroider them, but the local library actually does normally have an embroidery machine, but they're upgrading it, which is great news, but it was poorly timed and they still haven't done anything about it, so it's been a while. So yeah. Oh, Audrey, can we not do that now? Thank you. Yeah, so I ended up wanting to paint them, so I traced around it and then pressed into the fabric using a biro to get an outline. Then I just painted using acrylic. I tried a mixture between doing a slightly watered down version for doing a quick outline just in case I smudged, which was inevitable, I'm left-handed, the biro off. I did start from the end, but you know, I'm just a klutz, is basically what I'm saying. And yeah, I think they came out good. I ended up on almost all of them doing a light coat using a slightly watered down acrylic and then going over it and doing a thicker layer and then let that dry, and then I went back and just touched bits of it up, made little bits a little bit neater where I could. they came out quite good, I think. I don't have the other two with me, but I do have a bit of footage of those. The lovely person who got married, I can call you back, Monica, who got married and got a little D20 for the DM and a little tokens on the back inspired by each of our characters. I thought that looked really cute, but she was special, she got that, and everyone else has got something more plain. This is for the ranger in the group, Theodora, who is a force to be reckoned with. Such a cool backstory, but I sent Kelsey a message saying, I'm gonna do this for everyone, do you have any preferences? And the choices were, I think, black on khaki or white on black, and I had white on black to hand, so I went with that. And Kelsey got the same font as me. I felt like it made sense. Kelsey is the dyer behind Knitting Nikabi, who is amazing, creates naturally dyed yarns and plays in Dungeons and Dragons. So yeah, this one's really cute and was definitely sort of very similar to mine, but I felt like that was right. Kelsey's a lot more into horror than I am. I used to be really into horror films, like big. It was what I did for my media studies when I was sort of 18 years old. I really loved them. And then I discovered films like Lost in Translation and have kind of gone off piste. I think I get really into films and things, and while some I feel can be silly, like especially psychological horrors, I'm like, nope, this is too real. I need to go and watch something like Lost in Translation, where to most people not a lot happens, but it's got a beautiful soundtrack and I love it. Yes, so this one is for Kelsey. And then this one is for our Dungeon Master, and this actually has quite a bit of chalk on because I freehanded it. But Sarah is amazing, and we've actually mentioned this a few times, but Sarah's style is more like a Bria's, who has DM'd for Critical Role for the Exandria Unlimited series, but does quite a lot with Dimension 20 and other live play streamers. But I felt like Sarah needed something a little bit more whimsical, like on the lighter end, and so I've just freehanded one, and that's why there's a little bit of, so I used my sort of tailor's chalk to draw a couple of lines just to make sure that it was going to be fairly straight. And then I drew it on using pencil for this one, and then just freehanded over the top exactly the same way. I used a wash down pink and white acrylic with a bit of water in it for the first layer, just to make sure I got an outline, and then just went in and touched it all up again. Oh. I think they came out cute, and it's just quite nice to know, like, they can obviously use these for tote bags and things instead if they don't want to wear it as patches, and I think my jacket, that's what will happen to it, because it is really starting to just fall apart and it kind of makes me uncomfortable. So I will probably just cut it out and then sew it onto a tote bag. I've got a black tote bag that actually all of the print has fallen off of, so I might actually do that over the holidays. But that was the first thing, and then I got a little bit excited at the thought of actually sending everyone a Winter's Crest box. So I'm going to include my pattern for my Winter's Crest socks, because I think that's quite a cute thing to give as well. But I knitted everyone dice bags. One is just because I actually already had it, and I felt like, now I'm feeling like I should have knit another one partly, but this is Sarah, our Dungeon Master's colour palette. This is I think it was Dreamscape Daydreamer colourway by Biff Sugar Yarns on the single Merino singles. I used a dragon scale stitch from another pattern, I think. And then I did a little crocheted picot bind off and created a braided string. And yeah, so I saw this one and I was like, right, everyone should have dice bags. And like I said, while I had this already, and that makes me feel a little bit weird now, I feel like this is just Sarah to a T, and reminds me of a couple of the NPCs that Sarah's played. So then I thought, well, if I've knit Sarah one, Kelsey needs one, and Kelsey's character is pink, and also is a bit spoopy. Kelsey's character worships a betrayer god and isn't aware that they are not a good god, which actually provides a lot of really good in-game conversations, way more deep than any other group that I've ever played with, and it really actually stops and makes you think. So it's a really cool character to be part of a group with and to navigate moral concepts and boundaries. The last time or a couple of times ago, we played and we were caught off guard by a couple of hags in the woods, and we previously stated that if something can read, then you shouldn't kill it. So dear Kelsey's character was reluctant to shoot, and to be honest, my character was, because of the nature of my character. But afterwards we had an interesting discussion on, well, when is it okay to kill something? And we're still trying to navigate that, because that's really different and interesting because of Dia's backstory, you know. So you can kill to eat, and not just, you shouldn't just kill for fun, and yeah. And this used my 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge colourway, held with some Whistlebear Evering Bell in Cherry Mallow, and then some Lallybrock by Ginger Twist Studio. And this is my Fuggles Christmas dice bag, which I also have used in the past for putting my mask in my bag, other trinkets in my bag if I don't want to get them, like if I want to protect them, camera lens, a cake of sock yarn, that kind of thing. So that one's for Dia. And then Voutress, aka Monica, needed to have one. She doesn't have one. This is again the same pattern. It's the Fuggles Christmas dice bag. I didn't do any adjustments on any of these. I just picked out yarns. I can't remember what this is, but it's a blue-black. But Voutress is sort of a wizard. Not a wizard. A sorcerer. Very different, even though seemingly very similar. A sorcerer that has just multi-classed as a bard. And this is very on brand. Cobalt Soul and library vibes was the idea. Then couldn't have Naya, which is Mary's character, who is who I work on Roots and Stitches with. So Mary needed one, and Mary's character is a monk that does funny things with time. Very cool. And Mary actually sent me the red that's in here. There is a bit of Nutiden. There is a little bit of alpaca silk from Maud, who sent it to me years ago, which is a drops alpaca. I can't remember the colourway, but it's sort of a coral. And then my own hand spun, which I thought was really fun. And these are the corally and sort of red. I don't know why. There's a bit of purple in here too, which is the colour of Naya's hair. Naya. We still haven't settled properly, I don't think. But yeah, this was kind of nice because Mary sent me the yarn and I'm sending a little bit back, which has happened to me with a dice bag in the past. And then finally, we had an extra character join our campaign for a little bit, who was a very cute white fluffy bunny Boy Scout, for want of a better phrase. Super cute. The little bunny rabbit pooped flowers every time I got nervous, and let's face it, Sheldon was the best. A little fey bunny. So I decided to pick out my fluffiest, cutest yarn and see what I could do. And this is what I come up with. I think there's a merino singles in here, which was from Biff Sugar Yarns when I purchased the Dreamcatcher colourway, but I can't, or Daydreamer colourway, and I can't remember what it is. But there is a pink oddments that I've got as well, mohair in there, and just an off-white mohair. So I've gone as fluffy and pooping fluffy bunny rabbit as I could, and then I've added pom-poms. I haven't done that on the rest, but a little bunny's tails. I just thought that was a really cute touch. So that's our group, and we've all got, well, here's mine, but mine's I've had for ages, and these were the colours of my first two characters. I played a character called Rose, who was a pink tiefling, and a slightly lilac, she was a half-elf druid, called Lavender, I think. So yeah, this is just mine, and again, this is the same dice bag. It's just easy. I find it simple to make. I just got it in my head. I start with a crochet cast on. It adds quite a nice bulk and a sturdy base, and then do increases using, once I've picked up using my knitting needles, I do increases, and then some cables for funsies. It's got little yarn over holes to put the string through, and yeah, very cute. I thought, oh, what are you doing? The rest of my D&D setup looks like this. So here is my Sophia's Scroll of Protection, which I put around my notebook every time I'm finished with it. It keeps it nicer because, as you can see, the front's a bit manky. And yeah, just protects the table and my nice dice. My nice dice are very special. They're sharp edged, and I like to keep them nice. This is Alex's one. Alex often plays halfling, dwarf, orky type characters. So he's got more of those colours, which these are my favourite. I dyed these ones. And his dice match beautifully. And then he's got a scroll too. But his has the seed stitch, which is how I originally wrote the pattern. I would recommend doing it in stockinette if you're going to do it. I have never put card in these or anything because I like the idea of being able to roll it up, throw it in my bag, and using it for cover on my book. but you could very easily do a Judy's Magic cast on and cast on twice the amount of stitches and knit a tube, put card in, and then pick up the edge stitches together and then finish it off with the I-cord like in the pattern if you wanted to do a more sturdy cardboard one. But I just think that's a really cute, those two are cute knitted D&D gift as is. But I felt a little bit, I don't know, extra creative, like I really wanted to give back. And I would have loved to have made dice, but my skills aren't quite there yet. I have made some, and I've been happy enough with them for me, but I haven't used them in any D&D games because I don't feel like they're good enough yet. And I didn't want to risk trying to make them and then getting upset that they didn't work. So I decided to do something slightly more Winter's Cresty.